after having won in his first 2 seasons. And so there are the reserves in the Eastern Conference. And I know you've been talking about Bam for weeks and weeks, and he's in there by virtue of the coach's vote.
Well, you know, he deserved it. I've been watching the Heat because they are one of the surprise teams, and obviously Jimmy Butler, I felt like should have been a star. But Bam Adebayo has been fantastic. I didn't know he was just going to be this terrific of a player. I thought he was just going to be a guy have good offensive numbers, good rebounding, but he is terrific at both. But at the energy level he plays at, I'm just happy for him. Well deserved.
Yeah, let's look at, because last week when we announced the starters, we also projected our reserves. And so here are the way those lists look. Malcolm Brogdon did not make it, Kenny, on your part. Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose had a case. And,
yes, he did.
And because, he's leading Detroit in scoring. He's averaging about 19 points a game, shooting about 50%. They're 17 and 32.
Derrick Rose, I'm happy for him because he's such a great kid. The only thing I would change about my list, I should have put Chris Middleton on there. That was a mistake on my part.
Oh, you said it today. Good.
Yeah, no, it was a mistake on my part. Too late.
Last week you wouldn't have admitted it. But I agree. I think, Brogdon was a personal style of play pick more than the actual thing. But D Rose, Kyle Lowry, I don't think there's a difference.
How much of a case does Bradley Beal have?
Oh, yeah, he's got a case.
And let me tell you this. I mean, only 2 players have averaged 28 points a game at the All-Star break and not made the All-Stars. Dickie Barnett in 1966 and World B. Free in 1979. The Wizards are 15 and 31. Beal, 28 points a game. That's number 6. Having a career year.
He definitely has a case, but I think because of the record, you got to give guys like Adebayo a chance. And I also thought Drummond should have made these.
Their records are just so bad. And Kyle Lowry averaging 20 points, close to 8, 9 assists on a team that
number 2 in the
East.
Right.
You got to reward guys who's putting in work that is valuable in terms of those 20 points are making a difference. Where, you're averaging 28, but is it making a difference? And I think that's where the voters went.
Where else, Chuck, on this, do you look at that and does anything surprise you, or do you say, boy, I wish they had another spot, besides Derrick Rose, who you've pointed out?
Well, listen, I have no problem with the All-Star team. Like I say...
Because I know a lot of Zach LaVine fans out there, being in Chicago, are thinking that...
first of all, they're just wrong.
I think
what about
a good year. But
Jaylen Brown?
25 point a night guy.
Well, listen, hold on now. Let's stop kidding ourselves. Listen,
what about Jaylen Brown?
No. If any guy...
He's close on there.
No, but I'm saying, though, you can't even consider Zach LaVine before Bradley Beal. That doesn't make 0 sense. So if anybody, like I say, I'll give y'all Bradley Beal.
Can you consider him ahead of Derrick Rose?
Zach
no.
LaVine?
Yeah. No. I personally...
They got a better record.
They know they have a better record, but to them 2 ugly girls, nobody cares. But what Derrick Rose has done has been a surprise. We all thought Derrick Rose was finished, and he's been spectacular. So I wanted to reward Derrick Rose.
But we always talk about this on time. Spectacular on a bad team, or are you really spectacular? We always have this.
Well, then how could you bring up Bradley Beal then?
Because he's averaging 28.
Well, wait, why do you have a double standard?
Spectacular on a bad team.
No, it's not double standard because he's not finished. Like you said, you thought Derrick Rose finished. Bradley Beal is nowhere near finished.
Oh, I know that, but I'm saying
he was doing that, when they were pretty good.
No, but I'm saying I just wanted to reward Derrick Rose because it has been a shocker to all of us how well he's played this year.
And I think because of there's such a drop in records on the East that you're going to say, are you going to take 2 from the top teams?
Right.
Or you're going to go ahead and reward guys who's having individual good seasons but bad team seasons.
And that's what they did.
Yeah. And they said, no, we're going to reward the guys who are winning.
I'm sure coaches.
That's what Ernie said.
I'm sure coaches in the East are looking at it and saying, okay, let's take a look at this. I need 7 guys, and I'm going to start at the top.
I forget the coaches. You said it. You got it 100% right, and you were actually a voter. So you voted that way, correct?
Well, I didn't have to vote on the reserves. We voted for the starters on that media panel, but for what we did.
But I'm talking about when you just did it.
Yeah, exactly. I just looked at that and I said,
but he rewarded winning.
We
had, like I say, and that's the reason LaVine, Beal, Derrick Rose didn't make it. They rewarded with Kyle, and Chris Middleton, who are both terrific players.
In the Western Conference. Shaq, your thoughts?
I like the list. However, I would also rewarded Ja Morant. Youngster, they're in the 8th spot. We want to talk about winning. They are in playoff contention. Guy has a lot of style, a lot of charisma. I like his game. I would have rewarded that young fella because remember, in high school and college, nobody really knew about him. Showed us what he did in the NC2A and has not let us down this year. So I like Ja.
Let's look at the list from last week. But you didn't have Ja on your list.
I didn't.
And as a result,
still perfect.
You got them all right.
And you, EJ?
Yeah, you and me.
That's a feel, EJ. SEC, smartest conference up here.
How about the Devin Booker question?
Well, I'm going to go back to something you said. I made a mistake. The only thing I would change, I would have put Brandon Ingram on my list. I actually forgot about him. So that's 100% on me. But I thought, listen, no disrespect to Devin Booker, but Ja Morant should have made this team. They're in the 8th spot. There's not a single person, even in Memphis, who picked the Grizzlies to make the playoffs.
Look at that.
And this is for the first half of the season. He's been an all-star. To have that team in playoff contention, if the season ended today, they would be in the playoffs. I would have voted for Ja Morant myself.
And Chuck, be honest, did you know about Ja Morant 2 years ago?
No, nobody knew about him until last year.
That's my point.
So, we're getting ready for March Madness. We get these packets every week on all the conferences, and they're like, and I'll tell you a funny story about this kid. This is hilarious, Ernie. Where were we at in the playoffs? Milwaukee?
Yeah.
This little kid walks up to me and Ken and say, "Hey, Mr. Smith, Mr. Barker, hey, nice to meet you." And me and Ken said, "Who is that?" Because this dude was so little, and we said,
And I said, I think that's Ja Morant.
And I said, no, he can't.
He's like, no, that's not Ja.
And I said, Ja Morant can't be that little.
I was like,
and we
Ja
asked somebody, and he left. He said, that's Ja Morant.
I said, that's Ja Morant.
And I'm like, it was unbelievable. But he has been spectacular. I was pulling for him to make the All-Star team. I get some, in Phoenix, I get a chance to watch Devin Booker play.
It's a lights-out year for him. He's shooting 51% and scoring 27 a night. And 20 games of at least 30.
Well, so what you mean? He's Bradley Beal?
No, not really, because
it's kind of a similar thing.
They're in the 8th spot, but they're in the 11th, 12th spot.
Yeah, that's the only point I'm making.
But I'm saying,
they're number 11.
But that 11th spot is only 2 games out.
No, but
20 and 27.
Yeah, it's only.
But I'm saying like Booker and Bradley Beal got to hell.
Well, no, Bradley Beal is not making the playoff. If the Phoenix Suns go on a run, they couldn't make the playoffs.
Listen, I live in Phoenix. I pull for the Suns.
They're not making a run?
They're not making the playoffs. Please stop it.
I'm just saying.
Stop it.
But I think that, again, Brandon Ingram, that was my, I don't know if you remember saying, I said my choice as the replacement for Paul George. So I agree with that because they're all hovering around the same thing. But the only thing, again, with the Pelicans is we all thought it was going to be a total collapse as well. Total collapse without Zion. And the way that Brandon had played with the Lakers would give you no instinct to say that he would be this good this early for them. And I think that's just a testament to show of his hard work.
They're 19 and 29. Stop it.
No, but I'm saying his personal hard work.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but also you got to give David Griffin credit. He put a nice team together. They got a lot of pieces from the Lakers, but he went out and got favors. Drew Holiday, is, other than Rudy Gobert, to me is probably the most underrated player in the league. But I still don't think the Pelicans, I don't think they can make up the ground.
Are you coming around, Chuck, on the Joker? Three of the four of us had him on there, the coaches.
Let me explain, because I got a friend of mine, Vanessa, was giving me a hard time about the Joker. First of all, I love the Joker. I think why I didn't put him on my list is because I don't think he's playing at an MVP level. Remember last year I had him for MVP? Yeah. He's played well this year. Don't get me wrong.
But do you have to play at an MVP level
yeah, when
to be an all-star?
No, yes. Once you're an MVP candidate, you don't get to relax. I'm going to hold you to that standard. I love the Joker. He was going to make the All-Star team, but I'm saying, and people can put his stats up there. Last year, we talked about him for MVP.
He had a greater impact. He did by this point.
And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I will say that. But again, I was saying, as we said
he's going
last
to make
week, I say he should make the All-Star. We can't hold him to the standard that he has. We got to hold him to the standard of All-Stars. And so the other standard of other All-Stars, he's beyond that.
And to add on to what Kenny and Chuck are saying, once we deem you as a great player,
be great.
You gotta go up. You got to go up.
You got to
average 15 in 2020.
Yeah. You got to be great.
Once you got to average 19.
Once you, and see, this is what bothers me about this whole thing. We're not trying to make the All-Star team one time. Like, because that can happen. Like, some of these guys going to make the All-Star team. They made All-Star teams, like, because their team was good. If you're an All-Star, you play like that every single night, period.
First-timers on that list, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Brandon Ingram. In fact, in all this year, there will be 9 first-timers.
That's great. That's awesome. That's great.
Got to go back 10 years to find that many when they had 9 in 2010. Awesome. Twitter machine up and running again. This guy's an all-star. Evan Fournier, some his fellow Frenchman. It's Rudy Gobert.
That's Rudy Gobert. Oh my gosh, that's funny, man.
I thought that was.
Hey, Evan, you can't be pulling out those pictures, man. That ain't right.
Yeah, lotto numbers. No, I'm no good at lotto numbers. But
you got everyone right.
Got everyone right. 14 out of 14.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you didn't pick personal. I picked personal.
I don't think there are very many prizes that go along with that. When we come back, look up, Chris. We're going to be talking to you in just a couple of minutes. Chris Middleton.